Welcome to the English We Speak with me, Jiaying.
And me, Neil. What are you doing?
I'm just listening to the latest song by the Parrots with Banjos.
Wow, it must be really good. You're really nodding your head.
Yes, it's amazing. It really hits different.
I'm sorry, what? You got hit by a parrot with a banjo? I would agree that does hit differently.
No, Neil. We use the expression hits different to say it appeals to you in a unique way. Something that's special.
Ah, I get you. So you really like the song because it hits different.
Exactly. You need to check it out while I listen to these examples.
His new art exhibition really hits different. There's something so special about the way he paints. What Deborah says always hits different. She is so wise. That new novel hits different. It deals with some serious issues, and I found it really interesting.
You're listening to the English We Speak from BBC Learning English, and we're talking about the expression hits different. If something hits different, it means that thing is a special or unique example of something.
Yes, so you can use it to talk about your favourite thing, a song or film, for example.
You can also say why it hits different. Maybe it changes your mood. For example, that love song was amazing. It really hits different. It makes me feel a bit sentimental.
And sometimes we can use it to be a bit negative, but we show that through the tone of our voice.
So, did you like that song I was listening to?
Honestly, no. It's really weird. It certainly hits different. It doesn't sound like a professional band at all.
That's because it's not. Parrots with Banjos isn't the name of a band. It really is a flock of parrots that found some banjos and made some music.
Wow, I stand corrected. That is pretty amazing.
Yes, it hits different. Bye, Neil.
Bye.
Welcome to the English We Speak. I'm Beth.
And I'm Jiaying.
We have a word which is all about having a claim on something, making sure you say what you want before anyone else takes it. The word is dibs. It's often used in the expression call dibs.
Call dibs. Can you give us some context, Beth?
Well, you know that pizza we were eating earlier, the really delicious one? There's one slice left, and I want it.
You better call dibs then. Make sure everyone knows it's yours before they try and take it.
I will, as soon as we're done here. By the way, for dinner tonight, are you driving everyone to the restaurant?
I am. I'm taking you, Neil, and Fei-Fei. Neil always likes to sit in the front, so you should probably call dibs on the front seat if you want to sit with me.
I will. In fact, I'll do it now. Dibs sitting in the front. Now no one can fight me for the best seat. Let's hear some more examples.
Wow, that slice of chocolate cake is huge. I call dibs on it.
We all need to be in teams for this game. Dibs being on a team with Stephanie.
There are 6 of us, but only 3 chairs. Dibs a seat.
You're listening to the English We Speak from BBC Learning English, and we're learning the expression call dibs, which is an informal way of claiming something before anyone else.
It's usually used for small, silly things where it doesn't really matter if you don't get what you want.
And there are 2 main ways of using it when you want to call dibs. You can say, I call dibs on something, or you can say dibs and then the thing you're claiming. Like, dibs that chair. By the way, you do look very comfy in that chair, Beth.
Well, this is the comfiest chair in the studio, so I called dibs.
I might call dibs on that seat next time then. That reminds me, that pizza slice is still there, and I'm feeling a bit hungry.
No, I'm going to go and get it before you call dibs. See you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.
This is the English We Speak with me, Fei-Fei.
And me, Phil. We're going to look at an adjective about organisations and people that are difficult to trust. Fly by night.
Fly by night is a compound adjective that literally means something that flies in the night.
Yes, fly by night originally described companies who would disappear overnight. taking all the money they owed with them. It's usually used before a noun.
My friend bought a second-hand car last month. It's already broken down, but the company has disappeared. Are they a fly-by-night company?
Yes, we can use it more generally to talk about companies or people who are unreliable or difficult to trust. If it looks like someone is running a fly-by-night operation, it's best to avoid them. Listen to these examples.
I applied for a job, but when I went for the interview, it looked like a fly-by-night company. So I turned them down.
The agent I bought the ticket from was a fly-by-night operator. Once I got to the airport, I couldn't get any help.
I got my roof fixed, but it was a real fly-by-night job. It's already started leaking.
You're listening to The English We Speak from BBC Learning English, and we're learning the expression fly-by-night, which is a way of saying that a person or a business is untrustworthy.
In the last example, we heard about a fly-by-night job.
Yes, so you can also use fly-by-night more generally to talk about things related to untrustworthy people or businesses. A fly-by-night company might do a fly-by-night job if you hire them.
Now, we will definitely be here next week with another episode of The English We Speak. We're no fly-by-night operation.
See you next time.
Bye. Welcome to The English We Speak with me, Phil.
And me, Feifei.
We have an expression that you can use if you think that someone is spending just a bit too much time online. It's touch grass.
Touch grass. So can you explain that?
My friend keeps sending me all these memes. I don't understand any of them. I don't know where he gets them from. I really think he needs to touch grass.
He sounds like someone who spends far too much time on a screen. I can see why you think he needs to touch grass.
It's a metaphor, but you can see how touch grass is something that you can only do outside. We use this expression to suggest that someone has lost their connection to the real world and that they should put their phone down. To be fair, I'm almost as bad. I can spend hours scrolling through social media and I don't even like it. Maybe someone needs to tell me to touch grass.
Touch grass, Phil. Put your phone down. Go outside. Get some fresh air.
Maybe you're right. I do need to touch grass. Okay, listen to these examples.
You spend all day playing video games. I think you need to touch grass.
I check my phone 20 times every hour. I really need to stop and touch grass.
I'm finding it hard to concentrate. I need to touch grass and relax.
You're listening to The English We Speak from BBC Learning English, and we're learning the expression touch grass. This is what you can say to someone who you think spends too much time online or on their phone.
We usually use it to suggest that someone's technology use is affecting them negatively. We should point out here that this expression is definitely for informal situations only.
Yes, it's a slang expression. Telling someone to touch grass can often be good advice. There's so much to see and do in this city, but if you don't get off social media and touch grass, you'll miss it.
Okay, you're right. I'm putting my phone away. But you know what? I'm going to go to the countryside and touch grass for real.
That sounds like a good idea. See you next time.
Bye.
Welcome to The English We Speak. I'm Beth.
And I'm Feifei.
We have an expression that describes repetitive actions that are predictable and tiresome. The phrase is rinse, repeat.
Rinse, repeat. Beth, can you give us some context?
Well, to be honest, I'm feeling a bit down at the moment. I come to work, go home, sleep, rinse, repeat.
Oh, it's like that for me too. It's the same events every day. It's so predictable and boring.
Exactly. Rinse, repeat. Did you know, Feifei, that this expression comes from the back of shampoo bottles? They often say wash, rinse, repeat, meaning wash your hair, rinse the shampoo out, and wash your hair again.
Well, washing your hair isn't exactly fun. Mine takes ages to style, and then in 2 days' time, I have to do it all over again.
It's true, there is no rest from it. Rinse, repeat. Let's hear some more examples.
Bringing up a baby is difficult. Feed, sleep, nappy change, rinse, repeat.
I made dinner yesterday. I'll make it today and again tomorrow. Rinse, repeat.
In the UK, it's grey clouds, cold, rain, rinse, repeat.
You're listening to The English We Speak from BBC Learning English, and we're learning the expression rinse, repeat, which is a way of describing a predictable, repetitive action which is tiresome.
The phrase rinse and repeat is also used, though it's not as common. And like rinse, repeat, it often follows a list of repetitive actions.
Let's get back to work. I have to send an email, plan a meeting, and write another script.
Rinse, repeat. See you next time.
Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to The English We Speak, where we explain phrases used by fluent English speakers so that you can use them too. I'm Feifei and I'm joined by Georgie.
Hi Feifei, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. What about you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Now, in this programme, we're looking at the idiom clutch at straws. Ever heard of this one, Feifei?
Yes, I have. It's actually quite common. So the verb clutch means to hold something tightly with your hands. And straws, Georgie, are we talking about the long hollow tubes we use to drink things?
No. This idiom comes from an old proverb where straws is actually a thin plant that grows near a river. If you're clutching at straws, you're trying to save yourself from drowning in the river.
I didn't know that, but that helps us to understand its metaphorical meaning. We use clutch at straws when someone is trying to improve a difficult situation, using methods that are a bit desperate and don't seem likely to work. Let's hear some examples.
I was doing a marathon and I needed some people to sponsor me. But no one was giving me money, so I was really clutching at straws and I had to go to my neighbour instead.
So in my French class, we had to give a presentation on something interesting and everyone had really good ideas and I couldn't think of anything. So I was really clutching at straws.
It was one day before Christmas Eve and I had nothing in my fridge. In the end, I had to serve everyone with beans on toast. I was really clutching at straws there.
So, we've heard examples of people trying to fix a situation by doing something desperate or extreme. But we also often use it when people say things that are a bit desperate, usually during an argument. If their reasons for something are weak and a bit desperate, we can say they are clutching at straws.
Yes, and Feifei, I know I've only been at work for an hour and I haven't done much, but I already need a break. Do you think I deserve one?
I think you're clutching at straws a bit there, Georgie. Here is another example. My son ate all his vegetables at dinner last night, and afterwards he asked me whether he could delay his bedtime till midnight.
Oh, it does sound like he was clutching at straws, but it was worth a try.
Okay, let's recap. We've learned clutch at straws, which means try to improve a difficult situation by any means necessary, even if they're unlikely to work.
Remember to check out our website, bbclearningenglish.com, for more resources to help you improve your English. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye. Hello and welcome to The English We Speak, where we explain phrases used by fluent English speakers so that you can use them too. I'm Feifei and I'm joined by Georgie.
Hi Feifei, how are things?
Not too bad, thank you, Georgie. How about you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. So, in this programme, we're looking at an idiom that reminds me of babies, and that's throwing your toys out of the pram, or throwing your toys out the pram. Feifei, I thought it might be useful to explain the literal meaning of this first.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Well, a pram is something that you put a baby in. It has 4 wheels and you push it. And it is also known as a pushchair. Now, imagine a baby is crying. He or she is really upset and they're throwing their toys out of the pram.
Okay, now if you use the idiom to describe an adult who is throwing their toys out of the pram, it means they are acting in a very childish or dramatic way, especially when they don't get what they want.
Yes, for example, yesterday we saw a child in a supermarket literally throwing his toys out of the pram. But when we use throwing your toys out of the pram to describe an adult, we don't mean that they're literally throwing the toys out of their pram. We mean that they're acting in a very dramatic way. Let's hear some more examples from our colleagues.
I worked with an actor last week, and during lunchtime we found out that there weren't any ham sandwiches. He threw his toys out the pram and refused to work with us anymore.
Oh, there's some mistakes in Sally's work again, but there's no way I'm telling her. Last time, she just threw her toys out the pram and stormed off and started shouting at everyone.
Well, that's the last time I play him at tennis. He disagreed with the umpire and just totally threw his toys out of the pram, smashed his racket on the floor and just walked off.
The idiom is mostly used to describe someone else's behaviour and is pretty much always quite negative and critical.
Yes, and it's mostly used in British English because pram is a British English word. So if you're in the UK and someone says you're throwing your toys out of the pram, it might be a good idea to take a step back and reconsider your reaction.
Good advice, Georgie. OK, let's recap. We've learned that throw your toys out of the pram means you react in a childish or overly dramatic way when things don't happen the way you want them to.
Remember to check out our website, bbclearningenglish.com, for more resources to help you improve your English. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye. This is the English we speak. With me, Feifei.
And me, Rob. Nice weather today, isn't it, Feifei?
Yes, it is. But can we begin the programme now?
Oh, right. Let me just sort my script out. Right, okay. That's better.
Are you ready now?
Well, I just need to adjust my chair.
Ah, I see what you're doing. You're demonstrating how to use slow walk.
To slow walk, am I?
Yes. To delay doing something or prevent it from progressing can be described as to slow walk something. Rob, you seem to be taking longer than normal to start this programme.
Am I? No, I just need to get the lighting right.
Let's just have some examples of slow walk, shall we?
He decided to slow walk the decision on the plans, so we can't move forward. The company is slow walking in responding to a complaint I made 3 weeks ago. The council are continuing to slow walk their discussions about finance, so we won't get our funding in time.
In this program, we're learning how to use slow walk to mean delay something or prevent it from progressing. And you, Rob, are slow walking this program.
No, I'm not, Feifei. You're just being impatient.
I don't think so. You're definitely up to something. Anyway, we've nearly made it to the end of the program, so your plan hasn't worked.
Sorry, hold on a minute. I just need to adjust this chair again.
Are you slow walking again?
I guess I am. Bye, Feifei.
Bye.